Hello, all you cool cats and kittens out there. It's Mr. Haley coming live and direct from Google Slides. Recently, I published an assignment from Khan Academy all about prehistory and the origins of humans in their early human societies. Now, I'm going to be posting this Google Slides presentation into the Google Classroom for you to view. Consider this a lesson on early human development and distribution. Now, to begin, I have to make a note on primary and secondary sources. When we're looking at history, we use sources, reliable sources, and well-vetted sources, things that we know we can count on when we're trying to make sense of the world. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but it does come from the University of Indiana and discusses some examples of primary sources. You can read through those. And secondary sources. You can also read through those. The big difference between primary and secondary sources we can highlight is primary sources provide a first-hand account of an event or time period. Secondary sources involve some analysis, synthesis, or interpretation of these primary sources. So secondary comes after primary. Okay, talking about where our early humans come from. Here is a massive misconception. We did not come from monkeys. This picture, I just don't like it. The human journey is way more interesting than this picture. So, did we evolve from monkeys? Absolutely not. Coming straight from PBS, there are so much history, so much sources, so many scientists that can prove this. The data is indisputable. Just so you know, humans did not evolve from monkeys, but we are closely related to modern apes. Please pay attention to this. We didn't evolve from apes either. We do share a common ancestor with these modern African apes. So, please dash this misconception. This is not a thing. We did not come from monkeys. So, things that make us human. Chimpanzee? No, we're not. We're closely related, sharing something like 98% of our genetic code with them. But we are, in essence, very human for a few reasons. One is this bipedalism. Biped. 2 feet. Bi meaning like a bicycle. You got 2 wheels. Ped as in a pedestrian, or a pedal, or a pedicure. They're talking about your feet. So walking on 2 feet. Also, being able to use fire and stone tools. We see that stuff in our development. So, very cool chart here from the PNAS, National Academy of Sciences of the United States. As we continue here, we'll see walking on 2 feet, fire and stone tools. How long ago was this? 1 year, 2 year, 3, 4? No, 4 million years ago is when we start to see things that are looking like humans, possibly related. We do see these super important pieces though, which is why we call them our ancestors or our relatives. They were also walking on 2 feet. They were using fire, perhaps, and some of them definitely used stone tools. One of my favorite things is knowing that humans were walking around the same time as other close human relatives. Love it. Now, as we're talking about evolution of our species and how we have come to be, one of my favorite pictures that I've found comes from the evolution of the human skull. I love this. Humanorigins.edu, I believe, from the Smithsonian Institute. Where can we find humans on here? Humans, not the Neanderthals. We are somewhere in here. Find Homo sapien. There we go. Homo sapien. All of our other ancestors and related, though, you can see very similar skulls and how we've evolved from smaller brains and smaller skulls into our big brains and big skulls that we have now. Speaking of relatives, all of you share a relative to humans that is definitely not human. Now, when I say all of you, I mean folks that left Africa, anyone that has origins in Europe or Asia, Australia, and beyond. They, at some point, interbred with Neanderthals. Now, this comes straight from National Genographic Project. They work with National Geographic. I took the DNA test, took a swab of my spit, sent it to them, and things that I can learn, I'm 1.2% Neanderthal. Other fun parts, they give you some cultural groups that you are related to. You can find Eastern European, Finnish, Southern European, and Scandinavian in my genetics. Awesome, awesome, awesome websites for you to be checking out. Highly, highly recommend looking at our relatives, our hominids, going to the Smithsonian, the family tree. Let's see if we can open this up. So opening up the Smithsonian website, you can find some very, very interesting ones here. I know kids get a hoot about some of these pictures and what they look like, but you can sort this alphabetically or sort by age. I usually do it by age so we can see where we fall in this very, 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 very long list of hominids. And look where you are here, Homo sapiens. These are some of our relatives. These were actually living while we were living. Awesome chart here showing the timeline. Explore this website. It's fantastic. I love the Smithsonian and what they do. Really well done. So getting back to the slides here. Great videos, nothing too long, all on YouTube here, where we've got When We Met Other Humans. Awesome video. Pretty short, I think only about 10 or 11 minutes. Our most recently discovered human ancestor, Homo naledi, and other pretty famous discoveries here with Artie, Ardipithecus ramidus, and Lucy. So with that, that is my wonderful resources for you to be using as you go through Khan Academy. And I highly recommend you check that out. Also, when you do go to Khan Academy and you're working on history and prehistory, please, please, please go through these, watch the videos, read through them, get your mind blown at how long humans have been around. This date, this 3,000, 200,000 date keeps getting pushed back. There's new information, seems like each year. As you go through, you can apply your knowledge with primary and secondary sources as we're looking at written records. Obviously, we have not had writing around forever. That is a pretty new invention as far as we go. But if you're wondering, again, how do we know how old some of this stuff is without writing? Things like carbon dating, things like looking at stratigraphic dating, language study that's amazing to watch and learn about, and genetics, just like I showed with my National Geographic. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this Screencastify. If you have questions, I'll see you in our Zoom or on Google Classroom.